Hello, listeners, and welcome back to the Digestible Podcast, where we give you all the health and wellness information you need in an amount of time that your busy day can handle. And we make it easily digestible. I'm Staci, along with my sister Melissa, and today we're going to talk about something that you may or may not know anything about. Have you ever walked through the farmer's market and saw like these green sprouty little things and thought like, what is that? What's going on over there at that booth? Or even in the grocery store when you're maybe like looking at your lettuces and you see a little plastic container that says like microgreens and you don't even think about it because you don't know what it is or you don't know what to do with it. Well, today we're going to learn all about microgreens and why you should care. Who are our guests today, Missy?
Today we have the owners of Local Leaf Farm. First we have Stephanie Cohen. Stephanie is a former magazine editor for Beverage Industry Magazine, as well as a former teacher. She loves connecting and developing relationships. It has always been a passion in her professional and personal life. And Stephanie brings that strength into growing Local Leaf Farm. Her husband, Danny Cohen, is a passionate engineer whose dream behind building Local Leaf Farm is to inspire our neighborhood with ultra-nutritious, fresh, sustainable, and locally grown food. We love that. He is excited to stir the imaginations of others and help foster a stronger local food system. And then we also had Farmer Todd Katz. Todd is a former high school biology and environmental science teacher whose classrooms were built around hands-on hydroponics and sustainable agriculture. A 2016 Golden Apple Award recipient, he now brings that same curiosity and real-world focus to his work as Farm Operations Director at Local Leaf Farm. And I just love what they're doing. It's so fun and unique and interesting, and this conversation we had with them was a hoot.
Yeah, enjoy the episode. All right, welcome to the team from Local Leaf Farm. We're so happy to have you here. We've got Stephanie, Danny, and Todd, and we're going to ask them all the questions on microgreens.
Yeah.
So, in case there are listeners out there who don't know, what are microgreens and why should we know about them?
Microgreens are really important to know. They should be your best friend. They are produce that you've probably seen at the grocery store and passed over and maybe not even realized that they're there or how important they are, but they are the smaller versions of the mature counterparts. So microgreens are produce, and they are little leaves that erupt when you start doing the germination from seed to harvest, and they're the small leaves that come out before the big produce like a carrot or a broccoli. The small leaves come first. They're called true leaves, and those are the microgreens. And they're really nutritious, and they're really dense in flavor, and they should be your best friends.
I'm obsessed with microgreens. Like over the years at the farmer's market, I've just become very familiar with them, and I love them. And it seems like each year, I feel like there's just more and more vendors out there. I feel like people are starting to talk about them a little bit. Why is there such an interest in the market for microgreens these days? Like, where did it come from?
I mean, I think it's due to their health benefits and the strong flavors that they carry, and the way you can use them in such a large variety of ways. They also grow fairly fast, which is very nice to grow locally and supporting the local community and the local farmers.
So, I mean, if you didn't have access to, say, farmland, but you wanted access to nutritious food, growing microgreens might be an option, like maybe in urban settings.
Absolutely. Hence the formation of Local Leaf Farms. So we are an indoor hydroponic farm in a former Chipotle. So,
I love that.
We're actually sitting on what was the grill. This was the grill.
We're
Not the grill anymore.
Wow. So we've moved on from Chipotle. We've graduated. We've evolved.
Slightly healthier.
There's a microgreens farm in a retail storefront. I love that. So it's almost like a more nutritional punch. You get more nutrition it's smaller packages, basically, right?
Absolutely. So the microgreens have at least 40 times the nutrients, and if, like, if you were to, for example, take a cup of microgreen broccoli, there's almost 600 times the nutritional value of a
Wow.
cup of microgreen broccoli. And the reason why is everything's so nutritionally dense, because it's so small, it hasn't, like Stephanie said, it hasn't really diluted up to the rest of the plant yet. So we harvest them when they're very small, and that's when you get all the nutrients.
Wow.
What I've been saying a lot to a lot of people that come in is, everyone knows broccoli. Like, broccoli. I know broccoli. My kids know broccoli, even if they're like, broccoli. I'm like, wait, just wait. So broccoli, and there was like, I just looked into it. Broccoli microgreens, you own, like, specifically broccoli. Every microgreen has its own, like, comparison value, but broccoli microgreens, you only need 1 to 2 tablespoons of broccoli microgreens to get that nutrient value of the sulforaphane and the vitamins and minerals. And there's a lot of, like, anti-inflammatories in broccoli. There's a lot of anti-cancer pathways that are offered for broccoli microgreens, but the comparison is like 3 to 6 pounds of broccoli.
Wow.
Compared to like a handful of broccoli microgreens. So like you choose. Like, I don't want to eat 3 to 6 pounds of broccoli, ever. So this is a better alternative, and you can get a lot for just a little.
So it's a good swap out. What are you missing by doing the microgreens? Maybe just the fiber? Because you're getting a little fiber if you're only having a little bit and you're not eating pounds. But other than that, you're getting all the nutrients.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. I think there is a little bit less fiber than you would be getting from microgreens than if you would have had the real thing, but or the adult version of it. The big issue I know for me specifically, I'm for sure like a meat and potatoes kind of guy, and my wife has always been saying how I eat more things, and I just don't want to. But when I do,
Stephanie showing us her shirt that says "Eat your greens."
yeah. When I do the microgreens, I don't have to eat a ton of it, which I don't particularly enjoy eating the vegetables, but like after I get started, I do enjoy it. Finishing up on-shelf containers in one sitting. So, it's easy to digest, easy to eat. The flavors, I think, are what's so cool is that each little bite you get so many different flavors in a mix. Now, that's what really makes this, I think, very fun.
Yes.
The complement almost every food so nicely. So it's a dish with basic toast.
Well, we definitely want some recommendations for
Yeah,
combinations
so
for sure.
we'll get to that
Yeah.
and what to do with them.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
put them on everything, but I want to hear what they recommend people put them on. So how did you guys decide to do this? Like, where did this idea even come from? It seems very original.
Thank you. So I'm an engineer. I've been designing buildings for about 20 years now. And with COVID over the last 4 years, real estate is emptied out.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that's happened is people's connection to food and access to healthy local food has really dropped off. Things are going to, so much is shipped in and it comes out of crates, and it's just such like a food that you don't that I saw this opportunity to kind of reintroduce people to where food comes from and what healthy food can look like, and what sourcing local can be to provide this space that not only is very healthy and nutritious food, but also is a place to build community and truly elevate everyone's access and awareness.
That's great. I love that philosophy.
Yeah.
Speaking of
It'd
customers,
be nice if there was one like everywhere.
yeah,
like in every community.
Speaking of customers, do you sell mostly to like individual? Yeah, okay. Microgreen farms everywhere. Do you guys sell mostly to individual consumers that come in off the street, or do you guys have contracts with restaurants, or where do you get most of your business from?
We're ideally a balance. We do have a few contracts with restaurants, and we're supplying a restaurant across the way named Danucci's with basil, for example. The fresh basil is amazing. And then a lot of other people are walk-ins as well as subscriptions, weekly pickups or deliveries of fresh greens. We're trying to navigate right now the best way to connect with everybody and fill their tummies right.
Right. That's great.
So how would you decide like what to grow? Like I've seen a couple different varieties at the farmers market, like broccoli, I think radish, carrot, and like the sunflower seed. But when I came to visit you guys have a bunch of like cool things going
Like
on.
cantaloupe.
So
I heard there was cantaloupe in there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it is a huge challenge as the grower to keep up with this guy because he's on every day we're getting a new type of seed and I'm like, Danny, where am I supposed to put this? Some of it, Stephanie in her travels has discovered some different things that she's like, oh my gosh, we have to try this, and so yeah, game for anything. And like the number one thing like I can think of is that cantaloupe, which is just awesome. I mean, it's like you're biting into a piece of perfectly ripe cantaloupe, and it's just in 2 small little leaves. So that's really fun. But a lot of it, we also focus on not only the fun stuff like it's really cool, they're sweet, the cantaloupe is just delicious. But we also focus on things, this concept of like food. So we're doing a cruciform mix, which is going to be broccoli, radish, arugula, different sort of plants. And the reason for that is because we know scientifically that those types of the cruciforms will help women who are pre-menopausal, menopausal, and post-menopausal. And if we could help to provide that excellent nutrition, then I think that's really beneficial to them, and it makes the whole process of that transition like so much easier to the extent that we can help.
Wow.
So that's part of it. A lot of it is all like scientifically based, I'm looking at different mixes or trying to figure out some stuff. Like turn to the science and say what's available and how does it work, and so.
That's great. I heard cruciferous vegetables are also like cancer fighting too. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could really package the same product a bunch of different ways, like anti-cancer, menopausal symptoms.
Plug this because it's actually happening, but the Cancer Wellness Center in Northbrook, we're going to partner with them to do a private event. They're really excited. I met their guys.
Awesome.
It means a lot to me personally. So I'm just really excited to partner and provide more knowledge everywhere.
That's wonderful. That's great.
We're really, see something and make Todd grow it. But it's really just trying to find different ways to, connect with people and bring people in and pique their interest. And so.
It's what it's like being married to him too. When he has an idea, it's like beep beep, buckle up, we're doing it.
So
That's great.
If there's something that's going to work, and get one more person to support local, and think about a little bit more where their food comes from. It's something nice to offer.
That's wonderful. Hey, if you want to open a satellite location in southeastern Michigan, Ann Arbor, right? Ann Arbor people really like their healthy food, so by all means. Okay.
I'll put that on their radar.
So one of the things that like Staci and I both have been learning about food, especially food as medicine, is how important the soil is. How if the soil is healthy and full of life, then the plants that grow in it are more nutritious. But you guys aren't growing your microgreens in soil. So where are the nutrients coming from?
So, when we think about our soil, we're thinking about probably putting compost or fertilizer into the soil. We're constantly taking from it. So a farm doesn't need everything. Buys fertilizer and compost of some sort. So we're doing the same thing. We just use a liquid fertilizer, and the fertilizer we focus on helps for the growth of roots and stems. And ultimately, we're going to be having another system that's going to help us to grow flowers because we're going to work on having flowers as well. And those should be.
So flowers that you eat? Okay. And so is a lot of the nutrients, especially because it's just coming from the seed and the plant hasn't grown that much, could a lot of that nutrition be stored in the seed and we're just eating what was stored?
Some of it is. However, it's not just eating the seeds itself. Like it does have to kind of come out of its hibernation of being in or dormant in the seed to then release those nutrients. Then that's where the chemical reaction starts to occur within the pod or the true leaves, or it's the microgreens. That's where we're going to see the abundance of those nutrients. And what we do water, the water we use is also fortified with those extra nutrients that the plants need for those stages of development.
We're a hydroponic farm, so we are injecting natural nutrients and we're running those across the week throughout the day, so they're absorbing what they need at those times.
Okay.
Yeah, just drink the water. We're also working, like, you guys had interviewed Marty Spence.
Yeah.
From Spence Mart, and he and I are working together to figure out also other ways to help increase nutritional value. So we're working with him.
Neat.
For that as well.
Well,
so he's a great guy.
He is a great guy. As like an aside, and I don't have to include this, but I'd be curious to know about the phytochemicals, because phytochemicals are usually produced as a form of resistance against disease, and that so plants naturally kind of create that if they have hardship, and if you're growing them, the plants in this sort of like kind of like coddled environment where they get all the light they need and everything, are they producing those phytochemicals that we're learning is so important for our health too? But that's just
Yep. So I feel like in this last week I have taxed the crap out of some of these plants. That's my own issue that I'm working through. But we do have fans blowing over them, so that way it helps to strengthen the stems,
Oh,
makes them work.
yeah.
That's a very conscious thing we're doing. We're working on giving them max light or appropriate lighting. We're alternating that lighting midway through their 10-day cycle. Actually, twice during that 10-day cycle, so they'll experience different sort of light
So they have
environments.
to adapt, right?
Yeah, and it's they don't have tons of time. It's only 10 days.
Right.
But they are. We know for sure already that microgreens have tons of these phytochemicals already in great quantities compared to the adult.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay,
That's wonderful.
that's awesome.
Okay, cool.
And then where do you guys get your seeds from? Like, are they organic? Where do they come from? And then are you able to like grow your own seeds, or no, because your little sprout doesn't seed?
Yeah, we purchase all organic, non-GMO seeds from primarily 3 distributors right now. These seeds and really.
But we are not going to be growing our plants to seed, because that takes us like 2 more life stages.
Right.
So we're in the germination, then the cotyledon and true leaf stage, but then we'd have to go to flowering, then we'd have to pollinate, and then we'd have to get the seeds. And so I don't want to do those upward steps.
Yeah.
I'm good with going to the flowers for the edible flowers, but that's as far as I'd want to take.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
That makes sense. Okay, because that's a whole different
So you're
kind of business.
constantly,
Yeah.
So you're constantly utilizing new seeds.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then do you consider yourself organic or? Okay.
Dan always says that we're better than organic, that we're original. Just like the roots in, here we go.
Okay.
We don't,
And
there's no pesticides. There's no
Right.
and the nutrients that you put in aren't synthetic or whatever.
They're all just minerals and trace nutrients.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Explain, I got to see your cool like water system. Explain a little bit about how that works. Because like I've grown microgreens on my windowsill one time. I much prefer just to buy them from people who are growing them. But like I plopped them there. I didn't challenge their environment at all. I don't think I touched them after that. So tell us a little bit about how your system works.
Yeah, so we use a closed loop system. So we feed water to the plants and then recycle all that water back to a 100-gallon tank.
Wow.
From that tank, we are always filtering the water, running it over UV, and then tempering the water as needed for the plants. Keep it comfortable for the roots. And it helps mitigate disease. And then we have the dosing system, which is you're talking about, which is a series of small pumps, and those are constantly monitoring the water quality and then injecting certain precisely measured quantities, nutrients or pH hits, pH balance.
Great. What?
That's so
Why
cool.
the pink lights? For the listeners, they use like pink lights and it lights the whole space up. Pink.
I think the only reason, Stephanie doesn't want to say it, but it just makes her crazy. If they didn't want to
I should. Any place looks good in the pink light.
Right?
It is true.
It's good lighting. Yeah.
So a lot of it is just a full spectrum. I mean, you know that red light is for the plants.
Yeah.
So it's not all of them, but it just so happens that the ones that are right here in the window are super pink.
Okay.
Our itself is really nice white, but all of that is just for the benefit of the plant.
Great.
Okay.
If you think about plants are green, so that means they're actually reflecting green light. That's what you see is the light that they reflect. They're absorbing the other light.
Oh.
So the pink lights are really just the lights without a lot of the green spectrum in it.
Okay.
If the plants don't need it, it just causes heat. Similar.
That's cool.
So
I feel like we just went way over my head.
you know what? This is for sure one of the questions that we all saw.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's a different wavelength and the blah blah blah.
Like bubble and seed.
Bubble and seed.
Exactly. So, can anything be a microgreen? Like any?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
There's certain things that like if we're like, ooh, how about we're eating all these different vegetables that we have. Like apples, tomatoes, potatoes, sweet potatoes. How about those? But the reality is that those are types of nightshades, and they'll kill us if we ate them as microgreens.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, so good thing to know.
Yeah. So there's some things, that we for sure can't, but interestingly, many things we can, and we're kind of playing and learning a bit more about what we can and cannot have, as well as kind of broadening our. Right now, we have 20, 21 different species that we're growing as a microgreen, not including our 10 species of flowers. But there's so many out there. Like there's over. I mean, I think we know of over 3,000 edible plants, and that might be very understated. But yet, when you go to your any one of our great grocery stores around, there aren't that many plants. So we really just focus on a super small number, but we're trying to look at more of the stuff that we could put in, and could encourage others to have that you can't get at a regular grocery store, and that makes it even better for our neighbors, right?
Right.
Who we sell our microgreens to.
Okay, so I have a question about taste because I tried to grow some of my own in one of those glass containers, and they sell you the seeds, and then you make them grow. I think it was broccoli, and they were so bitter, and so I forced them down. So maybe it was just the seeds I got. So help me out with that one. Which ones taste good? Do they all taste different? How do you?
The broccoli ones taste amazing if you get them from
It
a
does.
good grower.
When you say you had a glass jar, did they get just did you eat the whole root and everything?
So
or was it
it's called Forage, I think, the company, and they give you a glass jar with this cap on it that has a mesh opening, and you pour the water in and you swish it around. You drain the water out, and then every couple of days you do that, and after 5 days they sprout, and you just eat those.
Right. So those are sprouts versus microgreens.
Oh.
So
Oh gosh. Okay, we need a lesson right now.
So sprouts are a really interesting thing to do. I think the flavors, I find them all to taste very similar.
Okay.
French mix and everything, to me, they kind of tasted similar. I couldn't really differentiate broccoli from a mung, from a pea. They're just very similar to me.
Okay.
When we get to the cotyledon stage, so that's the cotyledons are the first leaves that come out of the seed.
Okay.
And then after that, you get what's called the true leaves. And so the cotyledons will create the initial photosynthesis for more sugars to be created, and then it could produce the next set of leaves. At the cotyledon stage, you can totally taste differences between a cabbage or a radish, even though they look identical. And so I think that's like once you get to like day 7, 8, 9, 10, that's where you really start to see these differences.
But now I'm excited to try these.
So she was eating a sprout,
I think sprouts.
not a microgreen. And there's a difference between the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassing myself.
No, you're not.
Okay. And so how do we eat them then?
Yeah, what do we do with all of these guys?
Go for it, Steph.
Okay, so my answer is always the same for this. Everyone's like, what can I do with them? Well, these look beautiful, but like, what do I do? And my answer is always the same. The answer is, what don't you do with them? So you can literally put them on any dish for any meal to elevate the meal, to make an entire salad out of it. I just did a video and I basically I eat one of our clamshells every single day for dinner. It's like literally my dinner every day. So I take it and I'm a big rice person. Actually, I did it with noodles last night though. I made it like a little differently. So I took it, I added noodles, I added an avocado and whatever veggies I have in the fridge. Like I cut tomatoes, I think I did carrots in it, and I just mix. I mix.
Okay.
So that's my protein bowl and I did ground beef last night. And I did that. So, but you can do it you can add the greens in, or you can do the greens as a base. You can add the greens in a soup. We blended them in our kids' smoothies over the weekend. I actually made pesto with our basil over the weekend, which was really delicious.
Sure.
So
Yum.
there are everything that you're eating, you can add in microgreens.
It's like a power punch of
doesn't-
nutrition to every single dish.
It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be. Like I think about if someone was like, "Hey, Stephanie, I need you to make me a souffle." I'd be like, yeah, no, I can't do that. That's impossible. It's gonna flatten." But with microgreens, you don't need to be scared. It doesn't need to be this. Oh, I don't know what to do with it. Just do it. Put it on your waffle. Add some superfine. Literally, just whatever sounds good to you. You just do
Put
it.
on a bagel.
I think that they taste great on cottage cheese. They taste great on cream cheese, on toast.
Actually, with our popcorn, it could easily go into waffles.
I was going to say.
I was going to ask what you do with your cantaloupe and popcorn varieties.
You probably do with cantaloupe too.
The thing I love about the cantaloupe and pineapple is if you are trying to watch what you're putting in your body and you want to avoid sweets, but yet you still need some sort of fix, I think the cantaloupe and the popcorn is excellent. It's got a great mouthfeel. It gives you something to do, so you aren't your mouth isn't bored, if you will. But it also really gives you that sweetness that you're craving. But it's far better than a gummy bear, right? Or whatever you might, a Twizzler. But then there's what we do usually when we cook with it is we just put it on stuff raw. But then we have some of these excellent chefs where they're like, oh no, I'm going to sous vide this. I'm going to sous vide the popcorn and I'm going to then add it to this pork shoulder. And I was like, wow, okay, way above my pay grade. Right. I don't know. I think for most all of us, it's easy to, you could just do a simple garnish for people to see, and that's great. Make your charcuterie board look so much nicer. Yeah, any meal you're going to serve to somebody, obviously a little bit of that is but then there's also, we could just be a raw. My personal favorite way to do is balsamic vinegar, sea salt, crushed pepper, and then mix that together with any blends, and that's it. So simple, easy, it gets me, I get my salad, my stops nagging me about it, and it's great. And I would like a second serve, so.
Are you going to be able to grow other fruit varieties? Is that a thing? How that cantaloupe seemed very original.
We're looking at cantaloupe or cucumbers.
Okay, I'd like
that's
that.
Gonna be super nice, and I can't wait to go with feta, and kind of do one of the a Jerusalem salad or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be really fun. Sweet popcorn. Pumpkin.
Yeah, it sounds yum.
So there's so many things that I need to start getting.
Could you do the berries? Are the berries an option or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
I gotta look
And
at
make sure
those.
you're not going to get poisoned.
Right.
Okay. Great.
Volunteers for you. No, I know.
So when people come and get their like subscription, do you just give them what they want, or do you give them a variety? Like, how does that work? Do they pick online what they want?
I mean, we're honestly when people come in, we try and give them a tool of the space, tasting of things, you know, everything from like sweet cantaloupe or to the more flavors. So we do like to work out either a custom mix or one of our blends, and then give them whatever they want. Really.
But you can order ahead. Like if I think I mentioned when I was in there, like I love broccoli and I love the sunflower seed one. Like if I said like, hey, this is what I want, I just place an order and you let us.
You can purchase in store with us that day, or you can go online. We have a really active website where you can go to our farm store and see all of our different varieties and custom put together the different individual blends. Like if you want an entire container of pea sprouts, great, we can do that for you. Put that on your cart on the website, and then you will see it as it comes to us, and then I will call you personally, hello, and I'll see when I can bring it to your house or when you want to come in.
Great.
Missy, I have to bring you there when you come to town.
Yeah, I know. We got to make, yeah.
The girls would probably like seeing it too.
I bet they, oh my God.
We could do a
Maya
little
would
field
go
trip
nuts.
with all the cousins.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, how fun. Okay.
And also, if you come in, and you did a tasting with us, and you're ready to buy, one of our clamshells or a couple of them, then if there's something you like, I put that in anyways. I'll put an extra in there so that way you can have that, and I'll put it off to the side so you can try it with other things. But yeah, we're happy to provide it, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Great. Awesome. So when you see them in your local grocery store or online, a local business, you know you're getting a lot of nutrition for just those little amounts. You can put it in anything.
And that's why we've been saying it's nutritious, delicious, local.
And local.
Because it's all those things.
Yes.
And year round, which like
Right.
in the Midwest, we can't grow things outside.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why so yesterday I love avocados. I eat an avocado every day. Like that's like one of my things in my diet. And I've been following this guy on Instagram. He's like, just take an avocado put and like cover it in moist nap in like a.
I know that guy. I follow
You know
him
that
too.
guy?
Guy with the
Okay,
beard?
I'm following him.
Yeah.
So, yes. So I told Danny, I was like, Danny, think for the second farm room, you should grow me an avocado tree.
Yeah.
It's always summer here, and then I can have avocado.
There you go.
So,
I have a lemon.
Tad's shaking his head no.
I have a lemon tree in my house. You can grow lemons.
wait 5 to 10 years, knock on wood, it would have been here.
You have a lemon tree in your house,
Yeah.
Missy?
If you can keep a lemon tree alive year round in Michigan, you can keep an avocado tree alive. I believe it. Yeah, I bring it indoors.
Do you get lemons from
I
it?
do. I bring it indoors for the winter, and then in the summer I put it outside. It doesn't get huge or anything, but you may get like a handful of lemons.
I might need one of
I
those.
killed my first one. I'm doing okay with the second one.
I'm a bit of a plant killer myself.
I do love the smell of things. It's so good.
Oh yeah. You know what I don't notice though is with the lemons that grow on my tree, I put my nose up to the lemon and I couldn't smell anything. So I was wondering if like there's something missing because it's growing inside and not in its natural habitat, nutritionally, because I'm not,
Yeah.
who knows?
Okay. So at the end of each episode, we like to ask you to give our listeners a takeaway from today. So if you could tell our listeners something to do or try after listening to today's episode, what would it be?
We talk a lot about how to answer this question, and I actually think we all have similar ideas, but we don't have a choice when it comes to needing to eat, right? We eat to survive. We fuel our body, and now we're trying to think about, food as medicine, but you have a choice when it comes to what you're eating. So you don't choose to eat, but you choose what you eat. And I think the takeaway is that you can choose differently. You can choose to look into what you're eating, where it's coming from, how many hands have touched it, how long has it been on the truck. And then you're going to start to wonder that, and it might make you pivot. It might make you want to seek out real food, local food that you can touch, taste, experience, see, feel, and meet your farmers. See the people that are growing your food. I think that to me would be the takeaway from this.
That's great. Thank you.
You guys seen that McDonald's burger? It's like 30 years old and it still has tinted.
Oh, yeah.
No, but I believe it.
I've heard that. Ugh.
And it's like, what is this?
Yeah, what's in this or not in this that's making it
Right.
not, that even like the fungus and the mold won't touch after, like, yeah. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of Dr. Mark Hyman, and he has this mantra where like he'll go somewhere, could be a fast food restaurant, could be like a CVS where they sell, candy and boxed, packaged goods, ultra processed foods. And he says, I say to myself, that's not food. And when you get that in your head, like that's not food, it's almost repulsive, the idea of eating it. Because you're like, I'm eating, yeah, I'm eating the same. But when you eat a whole real food, it's like, I'm meant to eat this. I've evolved to eat this. This is really going to give me what I need. So I love that. Thank you.
Our culture is just so used to things like this, like so fast, and we're not even pausing and wondering and being curious. Like it's almost like we have to revert back to being toddlers in that sense of like curiosity.
Yeah, like rediscovering.
Discovery of what is this? Where did I get this from? Like we have twin 4.5-year-olds, and all they want to do is be curious about everything in their life.
Yeah.
From the leaves to their underpants, and they're curious about everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like we kind of need to be curious consumers again.
I like that.
That's very true.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that too.
Okay. Our last question is, at the Digestible Podcast, we like to say, don't panic, just pivot. Is there a pivot? I mean, I know a few of them. A pivot you guys have made in your life that you're proud of.
I mean, I'm very simple. I've started incorporating microgreens into kind of everything I do. So I'll still make like a pizza, which is awful, but I mean, at least feel better. I made some great toast the other day with microgreens in it. So I think I started to incorporate greens into my diet. I obviously feel good
That's great.
in general.
That's great.
Anyone else want to share a pivot?
There, because I think from teaching this, I'm hesitant to teach hydroponics students, so to now be able to actually do it and sell products throughout the community, starting to live, I think it's really neat. For me, it feels very full circle.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Right.
That's a big pivot.
Yeah.
That's great.
For me, I've always really loved connecting with people. I think that is something that it fills my bucket. And now, by doing this and believing so deeply in Local Leaf Farm and what we're doing for the community, it's like I've pivoted in my ability to define connection and like what that means. Like it's not just like having a conversation and like understanding like where are you, what's your background, like where are you from, like what'd you do today. It's more than that, and we're able to really broaden local community and what that means to me.
That's great. Connection through purpose.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great.
And positive, very positive.
We're so glad.
Well, we wish you all the success.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being
love
with
what
us
you're doing.
today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're looking forward to visiting again.
Thanks for listening to the Digestible Podcast with this week's guests, the owners of Local Leaf Farm in Highland Park, Illinois. You can visit them at localleaffarm.com or their storefront in Highland Park, Illinois. We did end up visiting their storefront, the kids, and it was quite an adventure, and that popcorn microgreen was something else. But also the cilantro and the basil. It was amazing. Anyway, if you liked today's episode, please share us with others. It's the best compliment you can give us. If you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you. You can email us at info@digestiblestrategies.com. We look forward to hearing from you. And remember, don't panic, just pivot.
The content shared on this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. We are not medical professionals, and the views expressed here are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any health conditions. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider before making any health-related decisions.